Hey guys, it's Olivia at OMG Artistry, Joico brand storyteller. Thank you so much, Salon Republic and Joico, for having me here today. So we're actually in the beautiful South Florida. I'm going to be showing you guys a seaside blonding technique today. So on top of that, we're actually going to go over hair hacks. We're also going to be doing some social media tips. So why don't you guys actually drop your Instagram pages inside of the chat box now. We're going to be doing some really, really awesome, like innovative things that you may not ever have even thought of doing when it comes to your foiling technique. So I have my Susie here, I have my Amy here, and we'll be doing some of these techniques. Who's in here right now? Hi, I see Brandon in here right now. Guys, this is going to be one of my favorite ones because it is a more long formatted class. Okay, so sometimes I just kind of like try to get it in 1 hour, but now we have 2 today. So let me tell you a little bit about Joico as a brand. So Joico is the joy of healthy hair, exactly what it says that it is. So the one thing is integrity, especially when it comes to blonding in the hair. You have to really analyze what you are doing within your consultations, what you are doing while the hair is processing, and then how to follow up with product afterwards. That communication with your client is so important to really let them know. I think sometimes a lot of people are very scared to explain what they're doing. I actually love educating. It's a little more exotic, right? So there is actually an opportunity for you to explain to your clients how amazing your products are, okay? And a lot of times people have asked me, which we'll talk about Defy Damage today. Defy Damage is a bond building and protecting product. And sometimes people ask, Olivia, like, how do you talk about it? How do you explain it? So we will also be going over that today. Okay, so first things first, let's talk about Blonde Life. Blonde Life, number one, this packaging is just so gorgeous, so beautiful. So everything that you need to know about the product is on top on the display. And if you need any instructions, it has instructions around the entire side. So with my Seaside blonding technique, I'm actually going to be using, I'm going to call it layered voluming. So I'm going to be doing 10 volume to start and then moving along into a 40 volume. So I use the LumaShine, the liquid developer, which is bomb. I love it. I love the consistency of the product. I love the consistency of the lightener inside of it. So very, very important. You do not need to throw 40 volume on top of foils. It's never necessary. Low and slow does the trick, does the job, okay? And I do love the fact, how many of you guys out here love Blonde Life? Because I'm telling you right now, if you are not using it, you have to. Not only does it smell amazing too, I'm not really getting that fumey scent to it, but I love the way that it actually mixes. So let's talk a little bit about that, all right? So I have my presetted bowls over here. My co-partner, Courtney, is actually here behind the scenes. She'll be answering all of your questions. We'll take maybe like a few minutes in between, and I'll make sure that I'm getting all of your questions. Also, guys, we are doing a giveaway. So we're going to be choosing 3 different winners. And what you guys will be receiving is actually an entire Youth Lock kit. So the Youth Lock kit is awesome. It is huge, and I'm so excited to really have you guys start using that as well. So what I like to do, all right, this is 1 scoop of the Blonde Life Lightener. But if you notice, off to my left, I have another scoop of the Blonde Life Lightener. We always do lightener on deck, especially when it comes to full foils or even like maybe like a full partial, right? So I never try to over mix my products. I like to kind of just do like 1 scoop, 10 volume, maybe another scoop, 10 volume as I keep running out. It's very, very essential, extremely, extremely important that when you guys are using your product, that your product stays fresh, okay? Because a lot of times, if that product's been sitting there for an hour, it is definitely not going to have the same potency inside, okay? So Brandon just mentioned, if you guys are looking in the chat, so the Youth Lock kit for the giveaway, when you ask your questions, you will be entered into that. So look at all that fun stuff right there. One thing that I like to do, especially with my lightning bowls and bottles, is I have a dry erase marker right here. This is like my favorite little pro tip. What I do is I'll actually write on here what volume this is, because there are some times that I will be doing like maybe like 20 volume at the root, and I just need to refresh the ends. That's when I do my layering volume technique, and I'll just put a little bit of maybe 5 or 10, but that way it gives me more of a label. And the cool thing too is it wipes right off. So such a cool little pro tip. What are you guys seeing right now? Like, what are your trends that you're seeing when it comes to lightening hair or even darkening hair, dimension? I really want to hear what you guys are seeing out there in the market right now, because I'm seeing a lot of warmer tones. I'm seeing a little bit more of like that cool metallic-y kind of tone. So that is actually what we did on Allie. Allie was our model for our Blonde Life shoe, and she is gorgeous. But let's look at this hair. Wow. So this is actually the technique that I'm going to be showing you guys today. So what I did on her was baby fine highlights throughout. And then I did a little bit of a color melt on her. So I'm going to be showing you guys my layering technique using the LumaShine. But what's really cool is mostly people are like, well, when would I use cream and when would I use liquid? Well, I'm going to show you. Where's my girl? Actually, she's pinned up right now, but I'll show you just a little bit. But you guys can actually see how the melting effect of this looks. With Allie, I gave her a little more money piece right in the front, but I'm going to show you guys how I did this on my Amy in the back, okay? We're going to call this our Allie. This is our Allie mannequin. Do we have any questions so far, my dear? Just everybody's tuning in. They're excited. Again, guys, drop your IG handles. Let's connect online. And I also want to know who's in here and where you guys are from, okay? All right. So this is my my mannequin hen over here, my Susie. So she's roughly, let's just call her like a warm 6, okay? She's a warm 6. And on top of her hair, I do know, right? I'm already analyzing that she's warm, that she pulls that warmth, okay? So that's where I really need to understand how long the lightener is going to sit. And this is a good little communication tip because I'm all about communications with your clients. I tell them straight from the beginning, I say, listen, with lightener, and this is my personal little pro tip, when it comes to lightener, I only like to leave lightener on the hair for an hour and like maybe 15 minutes after that, right? So what I tell them is I go, let's say her name's Amanda, what I do is when I foil hair, that hair is going to lift for 1 hour. And then from there, I will determine if the hair is still okay to go that little extra punch. Whatever your hair, listen to what I'm saying, whatever your hair decides to do today is where we're going to get you at when it comes to a level standpoint. Do you guys like that? Because what ends up happening is sometimes clients say, oh, you didn't lift me enough. I feel warm, this, but realistically, it might just be the hair situation that's involved, especially if they're your first client. So again, Amanda, whatever your hair does today, I'm going to check it after an hour. If I feel like the integrity is okay, we can push it just a little bit more. But after that, if I feel like your hair is becoming compromised, we're going to pull it from there. Okay? So just a little pro tip that I do. So let's get right into it. Oh, I see David in here. I see Richard, Brandon, and then Courtney, Jennifer. Hi, guys. So right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Lumi 10, okay, and I'm going to put it into my bowl. So what I like to do is I don't like to like shove the peroxide down. I'm not aggressive when it comes to mixing, and let me explain to you why, okay? So what ends up happening is when you take your bowl and your brush and you're just dumping things and you're rushing, and all of a sudden you mix like this, well, what ends up happening is volume, peroxide, is based on oxygen. So when you do 10 volume, right, you're getting less oxygen. 20 volume, more oxygen, right, because you're really trying to open up and expand that cuticle. Well, what ends up happening is if you take this brush and you go like this, you are actually whipping in more oxygen inside of the foil, and you don't want to do that, okay, because that's where it's going to lead to bleeding. So if you feel like your foils are bleeding more, or you don't understand why, it could be your volume is way too high, or maybe you're actually a little bit too aggressive when it comes to mixing it up, okay? So you can kind of see I'm just gently manipulating. Blonde Life, I never really see any like chunks in it, but if, as a little tip, what I would do is if you do feel like there's any chunks, get the chunks out before you put the peroxide in, it is so much easier, okay? Because what ends up happening is when you get that liquidation inside of your lightener, it actually will tighten it up. So the chunks will be even harder to break up. So break it up before when it's dry and then add your Lumishine, okay? So you guys could just see how beautiful this consistency is inside of the hair. When I'm doing minimal amount of like highlights, like I would even say like mine because I kind of even done, I will make the product a little bit thicker. Why I like to make it a little bit thicker is because I need more of that like stick factor inside of the foil. I need it to kind of really get in that area. So that's why I make my product a little bit thicker. Otherwise, just for regular foiling, I go with like kind of like a toothpaste viscosity, and it makes for such a good display of really applying the product. That's what's most important, is making sure that you have full on saturation, okay? So let's talk a little bit about the foils that I'm going to use. So there are 3 different type of foils that I have here. You know, I'm going to talk about social media, of course, right? So do you guys see these type of embossed foils, right? So what ends up happening is I love the way that these embossed foils actually film, okay? So what I mean by that is they actually photograph and video so much nicer than maybe like a Reynolds type of look. But they're kind of thin, right? They're kind of lean. But let's say I need to take up a lot of space on the head, which I do need that for today. That's where I'm going to come into. These are the Joico Artistry foils. I am obsessed with these. It takes, I mean, like you could just see the difference between these foils and how small these foils are. So they take up a lot of space on the head, which makes my, of course, job so much easier. If anyone has any questions about Blonde Life, you could throw them in. Remember, you guys are being entered into a giveaway, so very important. Hey, Court, will you do me a favor? Will you just take my phone and just go live on my page and then just show everybody that we are on YouTube right now? All right, cool. So let's jump right into it. I do love a more extra long foiling comb, especially when I'm using these super long. So with that point being said, when you're doing like a full foil and it's almost like roots to ends, you have to make sure that you're actually measuring the amount of hair that is on the foil. Because if you do something and the foil is way too short, you're not going to be actually receiving the right amount of processing, because you're gonna start twirling your hair up at the bottom. Right? We don't want that. We want it to lay nicely and beautiful. So for everyone that's live right now, we are live on YouTube. So make sure you head over here if you have any questions. So jumping right into that, I'm going to grab my Susie right here. Okay. And when it comes to foiling your sections, you want to make sure that you're not overextending, right? You're not overextending. The curvation of the head is very important. So you need to make sure that you're understanding where the lift is, okay? So let me show you exactly what I mean. I actually learned this from extensions. So you're technically not supposed to put extensions anywhere above where the hair, your hand is lifted, okay? That's the same thing too when it comes to foiling, just the complete opposite. If you start to feel like there's a tip point where the head is rounding, you do not want to take super, super large sections like this, okay? You don't want that foil to be coming over here, because when you lift that hair up, you're gonna start seeing bleed lines on these corners because you're not getting them down enough, all right? So we'll be talking a little bit about what is this thing right here. This is actually my pinky pointer technique, all right? So, let me go right here. Are you guys enjoying this so far? Because I love going live. It's so much fun. And I get to use the best products, Joico, Blonde Life, Defy Damage, of course, all of that. So speaking about Defy Damage, so Defy Damage is our, when Defy Damage, let's just talk about my opinion for a second. When Defy Damage came out, I was so excited. They actually flew out myself and over 19, 20 different influencers out to the Hinkle building in LA, okay? And this was like super top secret. This was probably going on 2-3 years ago now. And they basically told us how amazing this product was. And we're like, okay, yeah, we'll try it. Let me tell you the color correction that I did that day, okay? This girl it was candy corn hair, basically. It was natural roots, orange, and then super compromised hair. Her hair looked even better afterwards, okay? So with the Defy Damage product, it's 80% less breakage, okay? It is an ultra dry product. So what that means is when you're putting it inside the hair, you're not gonna feel like there's too much slip. It's actually not even gonna feel like it's really, really there. Do you see how I kind of keep shaking this? So shake, 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 and then shake some more. So the more you shake, it actually helps with the fumigation of inside the product. And you always wanna make sure that you're doing it away from the hair. So this product will not slow down your lift at all. If anything, it actually helps to enhance the lift for a more even consistency inside of your lightening process. All right, so what I like to do is I like to kind of display. Let's do it from the back. That way I can give you a better idea, okay? So I like to do this in sections. Will you grab me the wet brush? Oh, it's right here. So what I like to do is I actually like to do this in sections, okay? So what I do is I do it in spurts, okay? I have her put her head down. I do this in spurts like this, okay? And then I'll take each section, making sure I'm manipulating into the entire hair. And then that's when I grab my brush and I'll actually brush the product through, okay? Very important, guys. You want to make sure that you're never spraying directly into her face. I mean, you shouldn't be spraying anything in anyone's face, even if it's hairspray. You kind of want to get out of the way. So a little tip that I like to do is I actually have them put their head back just a tiny bit. And I'll take these quarter panels from the side with my brush, okay? A little brush like this. And what I'll do is any of those like little baby hairs that you know needs that extra protection, I'll actually go right in and just kind of paint that along the hairline, right? Because I don't want to spray in her face. And I love this little pro tip because it makes all the difference to really ensure that you're getting every single piece of her hair. And you could also do this on her part, okay? You could even do this like right on her part area of the product, which is incredible. I do love the fact that you can see the results immediately, how shiny it is, right guys? You can instantly see how gorgeous and shiny the hair is. All right, I do love to give you guys a lot of background when it comes to product because I can't genuinely explain my technique without giving you background as to why I'm using everything. I'm very orderly. I have an order of process to everything because it makes sense, okay? I'm using low volumes. I'm using amazing products to preface the hair to make sure that the integrity is fully intact. At the end of the day, what ends up happening is the thing that sets you apart as a hairstylist is your pregame, okay? So the pregame and then the during process is what makes you a better hairstylist to really understand what product is doing, okay? Why is it doing it? How can I educate my clients? So how I tell my clients about Defy Damage is I tell them, hey, listen, you know, instead of me adding a product into my lightener, I'm actually gonna spray this product all over your hair. So what it is the bond builder, meaning, and I just say like long story short, I go, long story short, you're actually getting a deep treatment inside of your hair that's gonna go inside the cuticle, and then we're gonna do a part 2 at the sink. So when you tell them that you're doing something to ensure the integrity of their hair during the process, they're gonna love it. They're gonna feel like, wow, she's really taking this extra time to take care of my hair. And I tell her, well, guess what? We might not be even foiling every single piece of your hair, but at least every single piece of your hair is receiving a treatment, okay? It's gonna make it 5 times stronger, and it's going to help with the porosity, and it's also going to maintain the vibrancy of your hair by 90%. So when you start, do you hear I'm kind of like giving out stats? I'm giving out facts. When people hear that, I actually read a book and it said 5 ways to make yourself sound more intelligent. And did you know that one of those things is by telling facts? The second one is telling stats. So when you have stats or numbers or percentages, it actually will help to elevate your situation when it comes to your consultations. It creates trust and it makes people feel like that you really know what you're doing, okay? Because we do, right? We all know what we're doing. I always say hairstyling should be called a practice, just like doctors. Okay, so let's jump right into the technique now that she's all defied up. How we're going to be doing the technique today, and Courtney, give me just, times to see where I'm at. Okay. So how we're going to be doing this technique today is I'm actually just going to be focusing mostly on the mohawk section. So the real tea is when I get into layered toning with my Amy back here, because that is where you're really going to see the beautiful vibrancy of LumiShine as a whole when it comes to either a little bit of coverage or a lot of coverage. So I'm going to show you guys just some back to school baby light techniques that maybe you're not doing in the salon. Okay, so let's go right into it. So what I'm doing right here is I'm just taking a small mohawk section, and I'm going to tell you guys my best kept secret when it comes to ensuring the all over product on the hair, but also really getting super close to the root. Does anyone ever deal with maybe, I can't get it close enough to the root, or why does my hair not look like yours, Olivia? I feel like that blonde is growing right out of it. Well, that's all in my pinky pointer technique. So my pinky pointer technique is a part of my everyday life, and I hope that it'll actually be a part of your guys' everyday life too. Just get a little bit of light on her. Perfect. Give it up. Any questions?
Yeah, what did you mix your Blonde Life with? What level are you working with?
So this is Blonde Life, and then this is 10 volume, okay? All right, so as I'm grabbing the hair, you wanna make sure that you're not taking too large of sections. I think number one, what people like to do first and foremost is they'll go as deep as this, right? Look at how much hair that is. You don't want that much hair. When you're doing baby lights, you have to do a very, very, very fine parting. I'm talking like so you could see through it, just to give you guys kind of an idea, all right? So when I'm doing my baby lights, I love to really kind of essentially weave in this type of manner. I see people doing it on the scalp, which I think is really cool, but also I never baby light this far out, okay? I never baby light like that. I always baby light literally like right at the root, okay? Because what ends up happening is when you go so far deep out, you're not really seeing how much product you're taking. You might actually be taking way too much hair. We want this to look fine in her hair, and we want it to look like it's growing out, okay? So also keep in mind, guys, when you're doing, sometimes clients are actually not candidates for baby lights. And let me tell you why. If they want a more natural look, baby lights all the way. But if they want a more chunkier look, that's when you're gonna wanna start going into slicing and heavy weaving, all right? So what I'm doing is, so I'm grabbing the hair, and do you see how taut I have this? I wanna make sure that this is really, I'm holding on to it in the hair. And then what I do, I push this just a little bit past. Okay, not here, right here, just a little tiny bit past. And then I'm ensuring heavy without hurting, right? Heavy tension on top of the hair. And then what I do now is I take my pinky pointer and I go like that and I push the foil up, okay? You can see just how close that is to the root. And then, of course, I have a decent amount of product on my brush at the time, and I never start directly at the root. I always anchor down my product first, okay? And then I'll start to kind of feather up. Now, why I'm doing that is because I want this to stick. Do you see how this is actually like sticking onto the foil? If your foils are not sticking, that means that you do not have enough lightener. It means you have too much peroxide in the hair. So what I like to do is I like to get just one nice coat down, and then do you see how much product I have back on my hand? Then you're gonna go one coat over that. This is what I call a full saturation. So sometimes people are gonna say like, oh, well, 10 volume, it doesn't lift enough. Well, it's not that. It's either A, you're not leaving it on long enough, or you're not saturating it enough. That is a huge issue. And sometimes I'll even turn, you see how I go this way to get it on? Well, sometimes I'll actually go this way to push the product in to make sure I'm reaching the other side, and then I'll actually do this. All right. Any questions?
Adrienne is loving all of the tips. She loves the pinky pointer.
Oh, thank you, Adrienne. I appreciate that. So now I want you to look. All right. So what I've done is I've folded this, but do you see how I'm not, and I'm just going to do it for the sake of doing it. Do you see how I'm not going like that? Because let me show you why. I'm going to open up this foil one more time. Okay. When you do that, you actually can create lines in your foils. Let me repeat that. Let me repeat that because that's very important. I see people where they take their foils and they'll fold them in the hair like this, and they'll go like this, and they'll fold it like this. Or I see them going like this, right? When you go like that, you're scraping the product away. You're actually scraping the product away from where you just put it and where you just fully saturated it. So make sure that you're not tight nipping. So what I like to do, just to give you another example, is when I fold it, I kind of just like to fold it like this and kind of just pinch the ends, right? Do you see that? How I'm just kind of pinching the ends, and then that's where I'm going to fold in from the side right there. I mean, essentially you're doing like a hair hot pocket is what, write that down. A hair hot pocket is really what you're doing, because you want to have that air. So you could see it this way. You want to have kind of that air inside of it where you're not really going like this, because what's going to happen is that lightener is going to bleed out too. You have to give the lightener an area to breathe. You guys know, you see that lightener grows. So give it space to grow, because otherwise it's going to pop up. All right, you guys like that pro tip? Okay, cool. All right, so then again, just take this side, fold my little hot pocket, take this little side. You're gonna see the lightener popping out just a little right here because I did do that. See, that's what happens when you go like that. I just push all that lightener out right here. That's a perfect example of what that does. All right, so another thing I want you guys to notice is where the hair is perfect. So it's just at her line right here, and it's just at her line right here. So close to the root. All right, so what's our time?
We have 20 minutes left on Seaside.
Okay, perfect. All right, so with this being said, I'm going to show you guys my, incorporated into this look is called the butterfly technique, all right? So she actually already has the press it to the butterfly technique. So this is what it's going to look like at the very end. All right, I wanted to kind of give you that easy bake oven, like cooking show type of deal where I show you the end result of what this is going to look like. But let me show you how I did this. So if you notice on Susie here, you're gonna see that, is that bleach at the roots? Is that lightener at the roots? I should say not bleach. Is that lightener at the roots? Well, why does it look kind of like it's kind of growing out a little bit, but it's so natural. So this is actually what I do on my hair. This butterfly technique is how I get this really, really, really prominent money piece in the front. But do you see how there's kind of like layers and levels to it, and it doesn't look like one straight line, okay? And this is how it grows out. And I love the way that this looks because it's not totally like line of demarcation in my hair. So now what I'm gonna do is I actually will start from the front when it comes to, and you can even just see the blend, how beautiful it is. So I'm just gonna hop to the front of this. And again, making sure your techniques and your sections are always clean, okay? So this butterfly technique basically consists of double baby lighting. And you're probably gonna be like, what the heck is double baby lighting? So what I do, okay, you can kind of see just even my process of doing this. All right, I'm gonna take a baby, okay? just like that. And then grab my foil, my long foil, because that's what I need for the front. We're just gonna pretend like she doesn't have highlights on her hair. Again, pinky pointer technique, pushing that product right up to the top, making sure I anchor down my lightener first, adding more product on. Can you make me some, the 10 volume, baby? Thank you. Can we give it up for Courtney here? Courtney's been just such a doll helping me out all day with my, my setup. So this is the first time that we're actually here on YouTube, which is so cool. Love YouTube. All right, so then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take this, right? Hot pocket hair, I'm telling you. Nobody take my hot pocket hair. Brandon, can you write that down, please? And then we're gonna bring that up to the top, okay? And now what I'm gonna do, so the reason why, there's a method to my madness, why I call it the butterfly technique, okay? So think about a butterfly like this, right? So this is what the foils are looking like, okay? But the little thing that I do that's just a little bit different, as if this was a baby light and this was a baby light, when they come together, right, they're going to look almost like a solid, what am I trying to say? Like a stripe, like a chunky, like a bold, like a really bold highlight, but it's going to look like you're striping the hair, but you're not really, and I'll explain why. So I'm going to take, no, what's the word?
Like a butterfly.
No, but like chunky. Like, what do you call chunky highlights? A slice. Oh my gosh, a slice. Sorry, it wasn't coming to me in that moment. Okay, so now whatever that leftover is, I'm taking that. And now what I do is I don't, listen, this is the part that's important. I do not go directly to the root. And that's what creates a little bit of that staggering inside of the hair, okay? So it doesn't look like a slice, all right? So again, I'm gonna go about right here, and that's as high as I'm going to go. Let me show you on camera how high that is, or how low I should say. So I'm not directly going on the root, okay? And the reason why I do that is because how it grows out, it's still a bold area, but it's not going to look so liney, grown out. Help me out with my words today, guys. Harsh. Thank you, sir. Okay, so this, you will just keep repeating. You will just keep repeating this all the way until you get to the front, okay? So you're just going to take these, keep baby lighting back to back to back, and then it will look just like this beautiful, gorgeous, bold money piece in the front. You guys can just see the Defy Damage that's on there right now that's just making it so, so shiny, all right? So then let's move into, I think, I'm gonna kind of push this down just a tiny bit. Are you guys enjoying this so far? Send some love. Okay, cool. Thank you, Jennifer. All right, so I was thinking in my head, I was like, damn, I should really do a shadow root on her and then do this kind of technique, but I don't want to do that because I want you guys to see exactly clear precision on how I'm doing this layered toning technique, all right? So let's just imagine she's done with her Seaside technique, she's got highlights on her hair, and I really want you guys to engulf yourself inside of this technique, okay? So first things first, I'm going to mix up my product. So this is my formulation. I need the 8N, I think it's over here. The egg cream. You might have to go run in there and grab it. I don't see it. 8N and 9N and cream. So this one is 6N and 8N. So this is in LumaShine liquid. Okay, so I mixed my LumaShine liquids with a 5 volume. I probably left them in there, didn't I? Yeah, okay. So this is my LumaShine 5 volume, all right? So essentially what the technique of layer toning is I'm going to start, so I'm gonna do this like straight down the center of her head. I'm gonna show the liquid on this side, and I'm gonna show the cream on this side. Essentially, what I'm doing is I'm going to start with an 8N, okay? So the 8N is going to come down diagonally like this, all right? And then we're going to drop that 6N right on top of it. So what it's doing is it's actually creating a gorgeous, beautiful blend inside of the hair by using the product. Because sometimes people get so nervous, they're like, 6, I don't know if I could do 6 directly on the hair. Is it too light? Is it gonna intercept it too much? That's why I like this technique, because, which I will show you, how beautiful that blend actually will look. So you can kind of see that 8 right here, and then the 6 is right here at the top, okay? Right down 136. Okay. So again, what I like to do is I write down my formulation because that's very important. I'm gonna do the 8N, and I'm also gonna just put L for liquid on here. So let me tell you guys the difference between the creams and the liquids, okay? So when would somebody be good for a cream, and when would somebody be good for a liquid? Well, let's say, think about this. Sometimes what ends up happening is with color melting in general, if they want to see more transparency, like they kind of still want those highlights to live and exist, that's when we're gonna do the liquid. It's a more sheer form of the lightening, right? So a lot of people ask me, Olivia, why do I want to use cream ever? Well, let me tell you why. And this is something I absolutely have noticed lately is a lot of people that are getting balayages, they don't feel like they're light enough at the mid areas of the root. So let me explain to you what I'm talking about, okay? So what ends up happening is people do balayage and they still feel like they're super dark throughout their hair. So they feel like they're almost like a little too dark right here. So my solution now is to get highlights for those people that want to have that brightness, right, a little bit closer. So I'm almost talking about this like mid-range area right here, because otherwise she wouldn't have any lightness up here. It would all be dark because that's how we balayage, right? We kind of balayage from a diagonal back standpoint, and then with the highlights, right, with the baby lights, and then doing a layer toning technique, it creates this flawless look where she still feels bright. Okay, so highlights are back, guys. Highlights never left. Highlights are back, and I'm going to show you guys how I do my layer toning technique. Okay, will you mix me up some 8N and cream with 5-ball? I always forget to put on gloves. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I just like get so involved, and then next thing you know, my nails, I have to put the Blonde Life on my nails to get it all out. Okay, fantastic. And another thing that's really important is make sure that you guys are measuring your stuff. So this is a 1-to-1 ratio. Lumishine not only, here you go. Lumishine not only is obviously the shine is incredible, but also the longevity of the product is fantastic. For more opaque, like the cream, you're gonna get a more opaque color on it, so it's going to last even longer, right? But even with your liquids, because they're more sheer, that's another thing that you have to ask your client is, do you want something that's going to kind of just eventually like fade off and then it kind of keeps your highlights up? That's another thing that I love telling them is I go, okay, so if I do highlights and a color melt on you, as your hair is kind of growing out and that melt is kind of fading away, that means that it's almost going to look like your highlights are kind of staying in the same area. And it actually creates longevity inside of the physical technique of the look and not just of the product. So that's a really cool thing that you could tell them, and especially if you do not think that they are a candidate for a more teasy light look, if you feel like they're not really a candidate for like a balayage type of look inside the hair, all right? Cool, so this one is the 8N cream. Okay, fantastical. And keep in mind, guys, we are doing a giveaway, so as you ask questions, I will be able to answer them. So normally what I would do at the sink is I would have her damp inside of her hair. So I'm just going to create just a little bit of dampness You can use this on wet or dry hair. You're going to see that there's a nicer slip in the hair when it's a little bit damp. Another thing I've kind of noticed is it's so much easier to color melt my client's hair at my chair than it is at the sink. I don't know about you guys. I feel like they're also just like a little bit more comfortable at the chair. And it makes your job so much easier. Another thing that I like to do that I don't necessarily have handy right now is when they are at the sink, after I am done, I like to take the K-Pack. It's the leave-in protection, and I like to spray the K-Pack and then just get through the hair because it makes my job so much easier to just like brush it out. I have a little bit more visibility inside the hair. Okay, cool. And then will you make me the 6N and cream as well? And how much time do I have on here for this?
2 minutes, but we have more if we need.
Okay, fantastic. So another thing too, what's really important is ergonomics. Okay, make sure you're not ever hunching over. Make sure you're kind of standing in a good position. Your legs can be spread out a little bit more if you feel like you're not getting low enough on the head. All right, so just to reiterate, this side, this side is going to be cream, okay? And you'll be able to see kind of the difference afterwards. I'm gonna split this down the center of the head. And guys, keep in mind this is being recorded, and you will also get, we will post the before and afters on the Joico's Facebook page, on their Instagram page, as well as Salon Republic's page. So do not fright, you will see the after effects of all of this. So what I like to do is pre-clip because it makes my job so much easier to get through, especially when you're working with a product and you're trying to be fast. You got to plan to be fast. And Court, I may even have you actually come over here to help me get through this too. And then one more clippy clip. Clippy clip. Thank you. Okay, fantastic. So most importantly, you're always going to want to start with tension on the hair. When you have tension, that's when you're going to have a successful blend inside, all right? So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start at the top of my section first. I'll let you know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at the top of my section first, and I'm going to go about maybe like right here. Okay, I do like a little bit of depth in the back of the hair. And also note, I mean, I love this word. Brandon taught me the word viscosity, so I feel like I say it all the time, but the viscosity of this product is incredible. And you know what, the other thing, and I you know, for my Joico users out there, you guys will agree, Lumishine smells so good. I love the way it smells. My clients always say they love the way that their hair feels and looks afterwards inside the hair. Okay, so I'm kind of just bringing this down just to about right here. And see how easy it is for me to just grab those sections and bring them out. And I'm also using a wider brush here to make my job just that much easier. And I'm also using her hair, so make sure you tell her to just I'm using the rounds of her hair, so make sure you're just asking her to put her head down as well. Do we have any questions on this?
Yeah, can you repeat the formula?
Yes, the formula right now is Lumishine 8N with 5 volume. This is the cream one. So this is, for those of you guys that are just tuning in right now, this is actually the layer toning technique. And I'm going through and I'm doing an 8N first, and I'm doing a side-by-side of what the cream versus the liquid looks like. When it comes to asking your clients, like, hey, do you want to see more coverage? Do you want to see less? Do you want to have more depth at your root? That's when you're going to decide. Another thing that I also love is because the Lumishine cream is a demi-permanent, that you could actually help to, you could help with grays. So I do a lot of clients, I'll highlight them, and then I'll do I'll do the demi on top of it, and that actually just will help to blend out their grays, especially when they do want a balayage look. If they do want like a root smudge look or even like a root melt look, this creates such a gorgeous coverage in the hair. So of course it is demi, so you need to make sure that you tell them that, but it's going to create more of a blending effect. And not to mention, hair color will actually help to soften that cuticle when it comes to if they have like kind of like unruly gray hair or really like kind of pops up everywhere, it'll actually help to soften it, and it'll also help to give it a little bit more shine. Clients that are kind of just, I don't like to call it gray hair. I like to call it little sparkles. You know, when I'm talking to my clients inside of their hair, I like to tell them, you know, your little sparkles, we can kind of adjust that from there. We could put a little bit of a demi-permanent solution on it to just help blend it out. Again, educating your clients as much as possible on the products that you're putting inside of your hair. And, you know, let's even talk about pricing. Okay, like Olivia, what would you charge for this? You're using 2 different colors on her hair. I would absolutely, if this is a customizable technique, right, and I'm using 2 different colors on top of the hair, you should be charging for 2 toners because it's double the amount of time, okay? So I'm going literally through the head, and you can kind of see how I'm doing this where I'm actually formatting the hair backwards, and I'm utilizing the rounds of her head in order to make my job that much easier, okay? So, and again, just taking it up at the front. So as I start to move to the top of the head, what I like to do is I like to actually start taking less and less lightness on the head, because I want to keep, just like I showed you Allie's photos, this is the exact technique that I used on her, marked down 147. This is the exact technique that I used on her because I wanted her to have just a tiny bit more depth towards the back and much more lightness towards the front. And also, right here where this money piece, I call it a money earpiece, coming out, new video. Yes, we're all getting money earpieces. I will tell you about it later on in another class. Stay tuned in Joico. But make sure you're actually not doing that piece just yet, and I'll explain why later on, okay? Don't let me forget that part. So I'm actually going to just pull out her ear money right here. Ear money?
Ear money.
Ear
We're
money?
gonna have to work on that.
We're gonna have to work on that, yeah. See, it's still conceptual right now, okay? And I'm even gonna push this forward just a little bit and then work that product backwards. So again, LumaShine is incredibly shiny and top of the hair. LumaShine even has clear, which is cool. So like maybe you have clients that are younger or have like virgin hair, but they really kind of want to just like pump up that volume, they really just want to pump up that shine on top of their hair. This would be an awesome solution, is to just do a clear gloss, right? We call it gloss, we don't want to call it toner. Kind of like a clear gloss all over her head. Just to really help her hair pop. I do that actually on a lot of redheads. I love the way that their hair looks. Maybe they just feel like their hair is just like a little bit dull, or they just want something to shine, but they really do not want maybe color. This would be a great solution. So as I kind of enter the front of her face, okay, ear money. Yeah, it's coming, Jen. What, ear money? Money ear. If you guys have ideas on names, I'll name it and then I'll give you guys credit. Actually, Courtney made up my Stairmaster technique name, and it was in the process of me hiring her. So I told her she had the job because she gave me that name. If you guys have not seen my Stairmaster technique, you can actually search it right on Joico's Facebook page. So it's facebook.com/Joico. Okay, so right here, you could see kind of like how I have that money on Allie's hair, which I'm gonna refer back on my iPad. What if I can find my iPad? Exactly what I'm talking about. Ear money. I can't get over it.
Ear money.
I guess gloves don't work on iPads. Something like that. There we go. How did we get here? Can you scroll to the bottom of the ocean, please? Thank you. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to gently, and I'm put the hair forward because I have a little bit more balance. Gently Bring it forward. And I'm actually not even gonna put the 6N right here, okay? I don't wanna put the 6N right here because I want it to be just the most beautiful transition to where her highlights are. But I do wanna give that 6 towards the back. So if you think about it, and you guys have to really figure out what you want your end goal to be when it comes to color, because as much as I'm doing, by the way, never push this back. Never do that, because what's gonna happen is you're gonna get color on the money. So I always kind of put the money off to the side. If you really think about it, yes, perfect. You could see right around her hairline how beautiful that blend is, right? So she definitely, we definitely just did an 8N around the hairline and no 6. Okay, so let that pop, let that lip off to the side. Okay, and then now, what I'm gonna do, and I want you guys to kind of see how this 8N process is, you're going to, oh wow, it's so gorgeous, right? You could already see how beautiful this blend is looking. So again, I'm gonna go and do my sectioning, okay? And you might say, Olivia, why are you not just throwing 6N at the roots? I don't understand. Why are you going through all this process? This is how I learn. Like, I was not good at blending hair. Like, I was not good at root smudging, okay? Because I always felt like I was overlapping, or maybe I was just really picky. And I said, well, how can you take it slower? How can you take it slower where the process is happening, but you're really understanding the perfect, gorgeous blend of the hair? Why don't I use 2 different colors? And then that's when it kind of hit me. And I think about this too. I love doing layered low lighting. Okay, hear me out. So what I do with my low lights is I will actually do, let's say, and of course with low lights, whatever their natural root color is, that's the beginning level that you want to start with. So let's just say 6 for me, right? What I would do is I would start with a 6 and then I would go into an 8 at the ends, right? Because what ends up happening is your hair is always thicker up here and then it's thinner at the bottom. But if you're putting a 6 next to blonde, it's going to look too clashy. It might even make your hair look a little gray. Okay, so what I do is I go in with like a 8NWB, which is beautiful. If you guys have not tried the 8NWB, or excuse me, any of the NWBs, so I love that for the low lighting tone because it replaces back all of those colors, especially if you're going on blonder hair. You need to replace that gold. You need to replace that red back into the hair. So again, you don't get that gray look. But when you do a layered low lighting, it is so beautiful. You could even stagger some of this and make them go longer, higher. You can really customize this kind of look with the same concept of just doing this technique, okay? So again, I'm pushing her, So now what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to touch this at the root. So keep in mind, guys, I'm mixing 6 and 8. So what am I getting? I'm getting a 7, right? So this is not going to be a true 6 because I again am layering on top of it, okay? Do we have any questions? Is everybody loving this?
Loving this. We have about 5 more minutes on the technique.
Okay, perfect. So it's actually a lot easier to get through when there's already color in the hair because you can kind of go right back over to where your sections are and kind of get through this. So you make me 8N in liquid and 5 and 6N in liquid and 5. Thank you. The more questions that you guys ask, the more you're entered into the giveaway, just so you know. So I love the way that this is just kind of already blending out inside of the hair, and I'll get Susie a little bit even closer. Okay. For my Joico people out there, what is your favorite formula for root smudging on like a level 6 hair and then toning at the ends? What do you guys love? And I even forgot to mention, what am I going to use at her ends? I'm actually going to use a little bit of that 10 NWB, because again, I love the 10 NWB, with just a little bit of the N, the 9N, and then some Color Balance purple shampoo. That color combo altogether is how we actually achieved Allie's hair. Because again, you're creating a little bit of that warmth inside of her hair, but that metalliciness is where that purple shampoo kind of comes into play. And that's what creates like a gorgeous look, okay? And it creates a gorgeous blend. So you could already see that there's that 8N kind of moving into play right here, and then me just tapping it with that 6. But as I get, again, closer to the root, I'm taking less and less 6. We don't need to be that prominent. So what that's also going to do is that's going to create depth and dimension inside of her hair. Okay, and I'll bring her to the front. And again, like I had mentioned, I am not going to put this 6N right around her hairline because I want to keep my, what's her name? Susie, super bright, and also her ear money will not receive any of that too, okay? All right, so let's jump into while that processes, and I'm more than okay with letting this sit. So you could actually let this sit for about 20 minutes, or you can kind of just keep your eye on it. Another thing that I'll do when I'm actually going through is as I'm kind of watching it, I'll even take like this bottom right here and I'll start to go like this, right? Because that's already been processing now for 10 minutes. And then I go like this, and then that's gonna process for maybe like 5 minutes, let's just say. So as you do that, what's cool is you're actually continuously creating a blend and creating a color, okay? So again, we're gonna go right back into the bottom, and I want you guys to see the difference inside of just the all over product, the all over what we like to call viscosity. I'm gonna get a tattoo that says viscosity on it. Okay, so this is 8N, right? Yep, you can use that one too. So look at how beautiful and liquidy the product is inside of the hair. You wanna make sure that you're using like a good brush that will actually hold onto the product well. So you could even see as I'm going like this, as much as I just picked it up, there's still not really a drop, which is important to me. So, and also too, you guys can even talking a little bit about Defy Damage, you guys can use Defy Damage as a standalone treatment on top of the hair. So you can do Defy Damage, they could just come into the salon and receive it. They don't have to necessarily be getting a service. They could do it with their haircuts, okay? So keep in mind, everybody says, let's talk about money. I love talking about money, right? So when we talk about money, we say, how much money do we want to make behind the chair? So I actually have a number in my hair of well, it's in my hair too, in my head of how much I would like to make behind the chair. Okay, I'm just gonna throw a number out there. Let's just say $75 an hour, right? Or let's get crazy and say $750 an hour, right? We can do whatever we want. So let's say if I'm saying $75 per hour, right? Well, how long does a haircut take me? You know, anywhere maybe with blow dry, all of that, $75 an hour. Well, what if I said, well, damn, man, it's a new year. I want to make more money. How do I elevate my services in order to be receiving more money? You have to do add-on services, okay? Add-on services, and especially with Defy Damage, how long does it take to really put in the hair? Seconds. But they're receiving those instant results inside of their hair, and they're also feeling like they're getting something done for themselves that's a treatment, all right? So not only is it their haircut, but then you explain to them Defy Damage, it's 80% less breakage inside of the hair, and I even tell my clients, people see me using it on Instagram and they're so excited. So we're actually gonna go through a whole segment of Instagram and hair hacks. So that's coming up in about maybe 5 more minutes, all right? Just so you guys know. Right now, for you guys, I saw a question come through.
Yes. M. Anderson, I'm sorry, I don't know her first name. What's the orange hue in the liquid color before it oxidizes?
What is the orange color and the liquid hue before it oxidizes? Well, I just imagine it's a color molecule that Joico found out to be absolutely perfect, but I have a funny story about that. So, not you, Courtney, but back in the day, I came up with this saying, okay? And it was called, the one thing I used to tell my assistants, it was called, never assume the color. Ever. Never assume the color. So ironically, I had this such a cute little bystander watching me toning hair, and they said, oh, so she wants orange in her hair. By the way, this client is someone that always sees orange in her hair. Okay, it was like the perfect storm that this innocent bystander said, oh, she wants orange hair. So whenever you guys are assisting other stylists, whenever you guys are looking for assistance, make sure that your number one rule is please, please do not assume the color ever. Even when it comes to fantasy, write down 201. Even when it comes to fantasy, okay, you don't ever want to assume the color. Just say how beautiful it looks. There's a song by Dylan Francis. It's called Say Less. Say less. Just give them compliments. Never assume the color. All right. So you guys could see how easily I'm working this product through the hair. And I'm just, again, using tension inside. And as I'm getting closer and closer, oh, you guys can't see what am I doing. Sorry. Okay. Yes, as Brandon said, you are seeing the direct dyes before it oxidizes. Brandon, you are my mad scientist. Every time I have a color situation, my honey boy, Brandon from Joico, always helps me out. So shout out to Brandon on top of everything else that you do for us. Okay, so as I'm getting closer to the hairline, again, just a root tap. And I'm bringing that hair forward just a little bit, bringing it back. Bring it forward, and then bringing it back, okay? Bringing it forward, and the ear money, screw it, it's called ear money. That's it, that's the name. Ear money, money ear, money.
I like peekaboo.
Peekaboo? Okay, fine. Peekaboo?
Peekaboo.
Peekaboo money?
Peekaboo money.
No. Our creative juices are going towards creating today rather than naming and branding. All right, so I just want you guys to see already how this is processing on the left. But if you guys remember, it was so opaque by the time I got to the back of the hair. Do you see how this is working a little bit slower, right? Okay, because it's not going to be as pigmented. So as for my next most commonly asked question is, Olivia, well, does the cream, I'm gonna have you just hold this up for me, Court, just like that. So is the cream darker? That's always the question. And no, that's not actually true. The cream is not necessarily darker, it's just on tone, right? It's on tone with a level 6. But when you have more transparency inside of the hair, of course, it's not gonna look as dark. So keep that in mind when it comes to your colors. And you know how I really learned my colors, how I really deciphered what I wanted to do on my clients? Mannequin work. Always mannequin work. If you have a question and you want to test something, pull out a mannequin and then just start playing, and you'll have a real idea of what that color is going to look like. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So again, for you guys that are just tuning in right now, this is LumaShine. This is 6N, all right? I've already previously done an 8N, and now I'm creating a layered toning effect on the hair. And I wanted to show you all a side-by-side differentiating of what the cream is versus the liquid. And again, I'm getting through this so easily because the product manipulates so well. Because the product manipulates so well on the hair. And it's nice that I could actually even just like stand on the back side of her and really get through this while I'm using the rounds of her head to apply the product. And then afterwards, what I'll do is I'm going to put a 10 NWB all over for her toner, a 10 NWB with a little bit of 9N, and then finish it with the Joico Color Balance Purple Shampoo. And how I would actually have my client here keep up with her color is I would highly recommend using, again, you guys see I'm not really touching this money piece with that 6N. I would highly recommend a K-Pack. I do love the K-Pack Color Therapy Shampoo and Conditioner inside of the hair when it comes to any sort of lightening process that needs that protection inside of it. So I would say for on a scale with all the products, okay, if you have a client that is constantly coming in every like 6 weeks, getting lightened, has some sort of melting, some sort of toning, right? Maybe your ends are a little bit compromised, K-Pack Color Therapy, right? For the win. If you have somebody that's constantly using heat on their hair, a daily styler, the one that really needs to defy damage, okay, you're gonna use defy damage. If they have thinner hair, Hydro Splash is great. If they have thicker hair, Moisture Recovery is great. So we have a full line that basically covers any hair issues inside of the head, all right? So let's even get like an insider scoop to look at how this is processing. Again, this is the cream side, this is the liquid side. We're gonna let this sit for 20 minutes. This has already been kind of processing for about 10. So super beautiful, super cool, easy way for you guys to create a seamless blend inside of the hair. So we'll put her off to the side, and now let's grab our Allie, and we're gonna go right into some hair hacks. Okay, so right here you're going to see that I already pre-curled some of these pieces. Well, Courtney pre-curled some of these pieces for me. I'm not going to take all the credit, but this is one of the hair hacks that I have. All right, so Courtney, my lovely, will you just grab these from me? I want to be closer to you guys. I want to like hang out with you. So I'm going to jump on this thing and get this in place. So Courtney, will you grab all this stuff and push it away this way? And I'm going to bring this, get this out of the way. Yep, all the color. Thank you. Okay, so I have 3 new products to introduce to you guys today. And let me just say that Joico really made a conscientious effort when it came to these products. They really said, what do we need? What can we have? And what can we make better? Okay, so let's talk about the one that's even better, like to the umpteenth. One of my favorite products that helps me lasting with my blow dries, my curls, my natural curls all day long. It is Humidity Blocker Plus. Okay, so this is the new suit. Is that what you call it, Brandon? This is the new suit, the new outfit. This is all rose gold, silver ombre. So these are so beautiful. I'll talk about this one in a minute. But the one thing about this Humidity Blocker Plus is they really took a conscientious effort to say, like, how can I incorporate even more frizz fighting ability, even more static prevention inside of the hair. And that's how this had a resurgence, a rebirth, because this is such an awesome product. So as a hair hack, of course, you're gonna always see me shaking the bottle every single time. Any of the Joico products, styling products, just give them a little bit of a shake to really kind of manipulate and start the product, start it going inside of the bottle. So you're gonna see just right here from when I'm spraying it, it's a super light, airy mist inside of the hair. You don't even see it. It's a nice little scent inside of it, but also it's invisible, right? Like it's literally invisible, but it does have a hold of 3. So you have this little kind of elevator labeling right here. So on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest amount of hold and then 10 being the highest, you're living in a 3 range. So a 3 range is really good for like getting rid of flyaways, and also it's really good at helping to prevent any sort of like movement, but you can also do a restyling. So let me explain to you what restyling is. And also Heat Hero does have that in it as well. So you can actually use this every day. That's right, every single day. There has been so many times where I'll let my hair air dry and I'll use the humidity blocker, okay? Because what ends up happening is when your hair is air dried, it's a little more open, it's not as sealed from the heat, so you do have that tendency to get more frizz inside of your hair. The humidity blocker is great as a sealant for that. Another cool really hair hack that I've been adapting into my own everyday life is right before I get into the shower, because I do these body showers where I let my hair kind of, for 4 days not wash it, I actually will put my hair up, but before I do that, I'll spray the humidity blocker inside of my hair and then get in the shower, because I take really, really hot, who takes really hot showers in here? I take really, really hot showers, but what ends up happening is when I come out of the shower, my hair is like this, right? It starts growing. It starts getting frizzy. The style that I had from the previous days, it's kind of getting needed to be refreshed. So the humidity blocker is a good little tip for you guys to do right before you get into the shower. Also, one of our artists, May, said that she absolutely loves spraying the humidity blocker underneath her hair before she goes to sleep at night because she gets night sweats. And I'm like, that's actually genius, because I do too. I have extensions in my hair, and a lot of times they're very weighing on my scalp. They're very weighing on my neck. So just spraying a little bit of that humidity blocker before you go to sleep, great way. And I want you guys to start listening to these hacks, because I want you to translate them to your clients. Because if you start saying like, oh yeah, you could use the humidity blocker right before you're about to go out as your finished style, or you could do it before you're in the shower, or when you create situations in their head and they go, yes, I always get humidity in the shower because I take steaming hot showers. Or yes, every time I blow dry my hair and then I step out into the humidity, my hair, like, because you want them to keep saying yes. That's why you ask them. Say, does that happen to you? And they go, yeah, that happens to me. Oh, yeah, that happens to me. Okay, well, listen, consider this, the humidity blocker, it's brand new. I'll have a bottle right here waiting for you. And then when it comes to the purchase point of it, they're going to be used to saying yes. Okay, so that's a part of the whole sales tactic of also selling products, and also to really elevate. Again, we're trying to make money here. We're working in the salon. We're working really, really hard. So I think everyone's like, they say their goal in life is to like work less and make more. Well, what if you just work the same and make a lot? You know what I mean? Like, make a lot out of the time that you're there. And it's all about the communication and just actually using your voice. Okay, cool. So yep, that's Humidity Blocker Plus. And then this is like my end all be all product that I'm like, it's my baby, Brandon. I need more of them. I'm sorry. I know you keep sending them to me, but I just need like I need a whole wall display of Heat Hero, because I grab it every single day that I'm styling my hair. So let me tell you guys a little bit about Heat Hero. It does exactly what it says. It is the hero to any heated situation. Not only is this a thermal protection up to 450 degrees, which I never advise, right? But some people do that, and I always will go against it. But as consumers, sometimes people don't. So let me explain what you're going to explain to your clients, right? So the birth name is Heat Hero Glossing Thermal Protector, okay? So let me just spray a little bit on my hair just to show you guys like how incredible the glossing effects of this is. So I actually like to call it almost like a sheen. It has a sheen gloss that's super lightweight inside of the hair. But guess what? Just from me doing that, now my hair is completely protected. I'm a next day styler girl. So I actually let my hair completely air dry yesterday using the Joico air dry cream, which I love. So I gave myself kind of this like natural beachy texture. And then I went back in and I reinforced the curls with a thermal protection. So you would use this on dry hair. You could also use it on wet if you want to, but preferably our way of doing it is with dry hair. And you're going to spray it just kind of like how you would spray Defy Damage, okay? So I'll do it right on my model, right here. So in little spurts, that's the best way I can tell. And again, make sure you're educating your client, just like that. Where's my there, okay. And then you're going to actually brush this product through, okay? So like I said, there is a hold factor of 3. So as a hair hack, can I get 2 bobby pins? Can I get 2 bobby pins? Thank you, buddy. So what I like to do with my iron, and also too, I get a full portfolio on my clients. I ask them, I go, with new clients, current clients, every 6 months I'll ask them because they always change up their situation. I say, what shampoo are you using? There's 4 core products, right? And everything else is just extra. Shampoo, conditioner, mask, and heat protection, okay? That is the 4. And again, how I'm talking to you guys is how you need to mention to your clients. There are 4 things I'm gonna want you to have in your arsenal of products. And it's everything that I'm going to recommend that's going to keep up the integrity of your hair to maintain the style that I have, all right? I tell them, I go, I cannot guarantee my services if you do not use the products that I recommend to you. If you want to use a off-brand that they might pick up at the grocery store, I cannot guarantee that you're going to have the best hair that you've ever had in your entire life. That's what I tell them. So from there, I tell them shampoo, conditioner, a mask, and a thermal protection, okay? And then I ask them, I go, Ali, what kind of blow dryer are you using? What kind of flat iron are you using? What kind of curling iron are you using? Because if they're using something that's 8 years old, I don't care how great your shampoo, conditioner, mask, thermal protection is, right? They're not really receiving the full benefits of utilizing all of the products that you're giving to them because they're frying their hair off with heat, okay? So that's why they need to be protecting their hair. Where did I put it? Oh, my baby. Okay. That's why they need to be protecting their hair. Oh, wait, I didn't tell you the best part about this. Actually, there's 2 best parts about this. This actually helps with UVA, UVB protection and pollution. So in the products, it's basically saying that it is this it? No, it's a humidity blocker. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is, here it is. They look like. So inside of the humidity blocker, inside of the Heat Hero, you're actually helping to prevent your hair from taking in pollution in the air. People don't realize how important it is to realize this. Because if you have blonde hair, super blonde hair, our artist Zoe says all the time, it's like walking around with white pants, okay? You are eventually going to start inserting something, unless you put that Scotch Guard, right? Let's call it Scotch Guard on top of the hair to protect it. Your hair will always be intercepting air. It'll be intercepting minerals. So you're always going to be intercepting unless you are protecting. Okay, against that, and Joico Heat Hero and the humidity blocker does just that. Also, there is, on contact, a split end mender. All right, so Olivia, what is a split end mender? A split end mender basically means that when I spray this product into the hair and the heat from the curling iron blow dryer, right, touches it, it instantly goes and it mends your split ends together, okay? So not only that, I'm telling you, you guys can tell how passionate I am about this product, right? So not only are you protecting the all-over integrity of your hair through thermal protection, but you are also creating a glossing effect, which will enhance the shine of it. And then you are literally taking the bottoms and the interior splits of the hair and you are mending them together. I mean, and pollution protection, I mean, it really just doesn't get any better than that in a product. So I can't say enough good things about it. Brandon knows this story, Courtney knows this story, but I had a wedding to go to this past weekend and I wanted to make some content, with the Heat Hero, so I brought it with me. However, I did not check my bag and I went through TSA and they actually took it from me. They took my Heat Hero from me. I was very sad about the situation. I almost started crying. My husband didn't understand why. But now maybe you guys can share my passion as well as you start to use it as to why I almost cried over a product. So it has, it's attached to my hip at all times. So now that I kind of went through, I curled her, I pin curled her. That's a part of this product is there's actually also a 3 hold. So you could take the product, you could pin your hair up, and then it will help to create that longevity inside of your hair. Also, again, really good for flyaways or even just to help with the style. So I had mentioned even before about the humidity blocker has a restyling effect. So what is a restyling effect? And a restyling effect basically means that the next day, okay, you're not dealing with stick in the hair or it feels too heavy. It helps to enhance your look, right? Because you're creating a glossing effect, you have a little bit of heat, so you're not using so many products, right? We don't have to use so many products in our hair if one product does so many things. Does that make sense? So that is another reason why I love it, because I feel like I'm just actually using less. I'm using less in my hair. I don't even have to use really hairspray as much. If I use texture spray the first day, I don't have to necessarily use it the second and third day. But we're gonna talk about another little product that also has a restyling effect to it. Are you guys loving all these hair hacks? I know I have some really good friends in here right now, so.
Yes.
Yes?
Marie can't wait to try them. She says you're giving the best tips.
Yes! That makes me feel so happy. Okay, so you guys could just see, and this, keep in mind, this is the Seaside Blonde technique that's on this hair, okay? So you see how it has that kind of manageability. I'm just kind of like touching it, and I've already sprayed the product in her hair, okay? So beautiful, Courtney. You did a great job on these curls. Okay, so now I'm gonna show you, before I go into my next little hair hack, I'm gonna show you guys a side-by-side on cream versus liquid Lumishine, all right? So do you see the more transparency effect right here? These were highlights, okay? Keep that in mind. These were highlights inside of the hair. And do you see how I just minimally tapped around the area, okay? So this is the liquid. So you could see there's more transparency. This was 8N liquid first, and then 6N liquid root tap on top of that, all right? So then, now we can go into, this is the cream. So a lot of people are afraid of cream. True story, a lot of people are afraid of cream. They feel like it's going to stain the hair. They feel like it's not really, what's the word? That it creates like inconsistencies, right? Not at all. Look at how beautiful. Just from the way that I did my technique where I was actually working backwards, that makes all the difference. So you can kind of see how it has this like depthening effect. I'll even bust her wide open from the back so you could even see just how beautiful. Wow, Court, these curls look great. It's really translating. You could just see the blending effect. So you see how this is 8 right here, and then that's the 6. So you're creating almost like essentially like a low light inside of the hair. So beautiful. And you could see obviously all the shine in her hair from us toning it using the Lumishine. That was the 10 NWB with 9N mixed 50-50, and then with 5 volume and liquid. And then we did the Color Balance purple shampoo on top of it. So you see how this is metallic-y? Like it's, I mean, you know what? It's actually emulating. This is the Pampas technique. Oh my gosh, the Pampas grass. It literally looks like the same color. So it creates almost like that honeyed vibe where it's a mixed metallic tone. Beautiful, right? So how, again, I would have her keep up with this is the K-Pack. And if she did want a little bit of like a toning shampoo, I would recommend the Violet shampoo for her. I would not do the Color Balance on her. I only did the Color Balance because I have control of her hair. I would definitely recommend the Violet shampoo on her because I don't want her to cancel out too much. And with the Color Balance, you're getting more of that tone on that hair. That it's a straight up purple tone. When you're using the Violet, it has a little bit of that mixture tone, so it helps to just balance out the colors, not really to create a cool result like the Color Balance would, okay? Cool. So now let's talk about our last product. So our last product is, and has anyone tried this? Because if you haven't, you're missing out. This is Rise Up. Okay, let me show you close up. close up. This is Rise Up. Rise Up is a really, really, really cool product, and I'll tell you why. There's a few reasons why. So when you're spraying it, it actually looks like a powder, which it is, but it turns into liquid on contact inside of the hair. So I'm gonna just put it on my hand so you can kind of see, but look at how it just like disappears, right? Super cooling effect. So what that, and guys, show your clients that, right? It's like that kind of like magician moment, that wow factor. So when you show them the product, when you put it in their hand, when you let them feel it, and they're gonna feel how fine the product is. It's not heavy at all, okay? When used properly, right? We could overuse a product all day long, but when you educate them on how to do it, and I'm gonna educate you guys on how to use it, it makes all the difference. So this is for somebody that loves that like extra volume inside of their hair. They want to kind of create that lived-in look for their hair without tease. I don't love tease. My hair actually doesn't tease very well because it's so fine and because it's so thin. You actually will see right through it. I don't know, maybe if your clients deal with that, or maybe you personally deal with that, but what I always recommend, and I'll even do it on my hair right now because I could use a little bit, I call this like the Mickey Mouse ears of your head, okay? I learned this when I used to do Miss USA. So I used to do all the hair for the Miss USA girls, and this was like the money-making shot because it's their profile. It's the profile of their hair. So you always have to make sure that this area lives with volume. And sometimes you don't even have to have that much volume up here to really make an all over difference, right? So what I do is I will actually take a diagonal section like this and listen, one pump per side. And I would even do like a half, no, not that little one, like that, okay? It does not need a lot because a little goes a long way, all right? And then what you'll do is you'll take your little fingers and actually manipulate the product into your head and do it on your clients. Put this on your client's hair, give them a little head massage, right? Because then they'll really not want to say no, right? When it comes to the product. So you give them a little bit of that, and then look at that zhuzh in the back. And for the sake of why not, I know they say that side parts are not out, but I really don't care. I'm gonna do a little side part. But what I really wanna show you, even like right here, where my hair is a little darker, right? I'm putting the product in my hair, but as soon as I go like this, it completely disappears, right? So you can use this on your brunette clients as well as your darker hair clients, because the product, when it goes from powder to liquid inside of the hair, it becomes invisible, all right? And you don't see it. And what's really great about this too is it has, again, that restyling format to it. So let's say you're out and about, you're at work, and you really just feel like your hair needs a little extra pump. Use your little tools like this, and you could just go like this and really pump up the volume. And you can even do it for next day hair. So again, you're not adding more product into your hair, okay? It's existing inside of your hair, and you have a little bit of that feeling. It's not sticky at all. I actually don't even feel it on my hands. And I've been like using it as a display item, and it is not there, all right? So really cool product, Rise Up. Brandon, when is this one available? And is it available right now? I know we kind of said April. I just need to get that date on books. And I know Humidity Blocker and Heat Hero are out right now, just so you guys know. Heat Hero, I mean, all day, every day. I'm gonna even just do a little bit of that Rise Up in my alley right now, just so you guys could see. What's our time, Bubba?
We've got about 5 more minutes to keep talking about products before we have to move on.
Okay, fantastic. So again, you kind of see I'm lifting up the hair, I'm sectioning it, and you could even use this at the bottom of the hair if you really wanted to. You could even just put in a little bit. What I would advise is maybe just put it in your hand and then scrunch it into your hair instead of spraying it directly into your hair, because you don't want it to be in one spot, right? This is a direct nozzle, so it's gonna go right where you put it. So what I would do, put a little bit in your hand, clap it, and then bounce it. And this is a mannequin head, and it looks good on a mannequin head. It's not even real hair, and it looks good. So you can kind of just see the zhuzhiness and how that hair is kind of like expanding at the bottom. Just like that. Do you guys love this look? Do you love the blend? This is the Seaside technique mixed with the layer toning, okay? You can even see better right here. Do you see how you still see some of those highlights coming through? A little more transparency, and then this is a full-on color mount inside of the hair. Another thing that you guys should just really think about is extensions as well. So a lot of people, extensions are super, super popular now. And extensions are not cheap, right? There is an investment that's involved with extensions. That's why I think it's so important to use products like the Heat Hero inside of it, because if you're spending, I just make up numbers, $500, $2,000 on your extensions, and you're not using thermal protection on top of that, people will definitely say to themselves, like, oh, why does my hair feel fried off at the end of the day? Or why does my hair not feel as healthy? Or why are these extensions like bleh? And it's probably because they're not either using a mask, okay, 3 things. They're probably either not using a mask. Can you grab me the K-Pack and Blonde Life oil in the tubies use? Products we didn't plan on talking about, but I do think it's very important. They're either not using a mask, okay? The hair extensions do not create their own moisture. They do not create their own moisture inside of the hair at all. So they need the replacement of that moisture. So there's one thing that I do, it's called mask and multitask, okay? So you can use, you could do like 20 minutes before you get into the shower that you guys could actually, fantastic. And she grabbed the mask too, which is cool. So this is the K-Pack. This is the Luster Lock oil, or excuse me, this is a Luster Lock mask. So I would do 20 minutes before you get into the shower, shampoo and condition like normal. Also, this is the K-Pack. This is a Luster Lock oil. Again, extensions do not create their own oil. So if anyone is ever feeling like their hair is kind of like dull or it's not getting that shine, it's probably because there's not enough moisture and shine at the bottom. So you can even just see how I'm putting this on right now, and it looks super lightweight. It gives me kind of like even a little more dimension in my hair, I would say, but it makes my hair feel really good and it smells good. And then whatever I have left over, I put on my arms. We need to get a body wash. That's K-Pack. I said that yesterday. And then I could even put this in her hair right now too, because she is mannequin hair, just to get a little bit more shine. Okay, cool. Do you guys like that? And the bonus products that I just kind of pulled out there right now. Okay, so now you see how I keep getting closer and closer to the screen as we keep doing this process. So let's talk a little bit about social media, okay? Courtney, can you go live from my Instagram page, please? Okay, perfect. So let's go talk about Instagram. Let's talk about social media in general. So there are a few things that I have noticed that maybe I didn't intentionally do, but that I noticed started to translate a little bit differently. As a hairstylist and as a prosumer, so I live in a prosumer space. So working for Joico, I am the brand storyteller, which means that everything that I talk about is in coordination of the brand of Joico, okay? So when you live in a prosumer world, you basically can talk to the pros, you do your techniques, but then I also talk to the consumers, and that's when I do my hair hacks. But what I love about being in the prosumer world is that you can educate on both behalves. And as hairstylists, we need to learn how to do that, right? Because we want to make the assistants around us better, and that's why we want our education, and we want to help, and we want to teach. We want to elevate, right? We want to elevate the hairstylists that are around us. We want to help educate them and ourselves. But then we also want to educate our clients on products. We want to educate on how important the integrity and the health of your hair is. So sometimes it just seems like it's a lot of work, right? It's a lot of work to take care of your hair. Well, at the end of the day, it's not that it's a lot of work. It's actually, you need to be doing less, right? And putting more product in your hair. So letting your hair air dry more, maybe using more thermal protection in your products, maybe using the right shampoos and conditioners. So it's not that we have to take more time to take care of our hair. We just have to figure out the ticky-tacky ways in order to make our hair easier. So that's why I like the technique of like the mask and the multitask. But how do they know if you don't see them in person? And maybe you're kind of that person that is not very comfortable talking about social media, or excuse me, not social media, talking about products, okay? So that's why I actually started, because I was never a product person ever. I just thought, for you guys tuning in right now, we are on YouTube. You can head to my stories and go to the swipe up link and you can talk to us from there. No, keep it on here. So with that being said, I never really knew how to sell product. I didn't feel comfortable selling product. But what I started to do was I actually started to make videos about me using the product on myself, right? So when you use product on yourself, that's a consumer video, okay? But if you're doing like a mannequin, or you're doing a client and you're doing that kind of product, you're making that video for the pros. So make sure that when you are utilizing social media, you have to figure out who you're talking to, who you want to talk to. What's your mission for that month, okay? So let's just say my goal for that month is I want to sell out of all my hair care products, all my masks, every single mask. Well, I'm going to make a video that basically tells people what type of hair they have with the equivalent of what masks that they would use, all right? So I would explain on camera, right? And I know guys that you're probably like, Olivia, I'm afraid to be in front of the camera, focus. Oh, I saw Brandon. I'm like, I got distracted. What? So make sure that you guys are creating this uncomfortability within yourself to just get better. A lot of people say, how do you become a better blogger? How do you become a better carpenter? How do you become a better artist? How do you become a better hairstylist? How do you get better at selling products? How do you get better at making videos and putting yourself out there? You just do it. You just do it, because it's an out-of-body, right, experience for you to be able to talk, for you to be able to communicate online. So for myself, a lot of these other influencers that are online, hey guys, it's not that we're a better hairstylist than you. We're just a little louder. We're just a little more consistent online when it comes to creating content. So you as a hairstylist, what you can do is you can take what's in your head and you can translate it into a video, which will in turn help to educate your clients. So when you make videos about products, they're gonna come in asking for it by name. Trust me. I did not realize what was happening when it was happening, because I've been on Instagram now since 2013, or probably even like 2011 at this point. But what I realized is when I started to do my little consumer videos and I started to do like my hair hacks, people are like, what is that heat hero? What is that humidity blocker? What is my hair? I want to be able to recreate that for myself. And I think that's what created a comfortability factor for me to actually start talking about products, right? And I even tell my co-partner, Courtney, I tell her, hey, I'm talking about a product, but at the shampoo station, I need you talking about those products too. I need them to keep hearing what the importance is. And that's why I educate Courtney, or even we educate some of the other artists that are around us, especially if you're a Joico salon, that you guys are all using the same words, you're using the same keywords, and that's what you're also translating into your captions online, on social media. That's what you're also translating in person and in videos. If you guys are on live right now, if you want to hear the continuation of this, head over to my stories, swipe up, and we're live on YouTube right now. Cool. So also, I'm going live in two different, you can get out, yeah. So I'm also going live in two different areas. I'm trying to utilize the fact that I'm actually doing something, right, live on YouTube, and I'm translating it to all different areas. So don't be afraid to take that video where you might be talking about those 5 different masks for your hair and putting them on Instagram, putting them on Facebook, putting it on YouTube, right? TikTok is huge right now. And if you guys do not follow Joico on TikTok, make sure you do. It's just at Joico. I'm at OMG Artistry if you guys even want to follow me, or if you put my Instagram tag in there. And within the space of social media, there is this out of body, we're going to call it out of body, that you need to have. I was a super shy person growing up that I kind of had to grow into my own. I came from a videography background. That's kind of how I know this space, this digital space, because I did get education on it. And I was a videographer, basically turned beauty content creator, okay? The problem was I was great at video, but I was muy terrible in front of the camera. I didn't know how to have that out-of-body experience to be able to put myself out there. I could sit here and talk to you about social media all day long and give you tips and tricks and what you need to do and content calendar and all that stuff. But if you don't have that aha moment to be like, I have so much information in my brain, but I can't get over myself from this app, right? Don't do it. Excuse me. Do it for other people in the best way possible. So what I'm saying is, Olivia, you are so selfish, and you know this is how I talk to myself. You are so selfish, and you know so much information that you can't get over yourself because you're embarrassed of being in front of the camera. How selfish are you? That's what I said. And that was the moment that took me over the edge to just say, I know how to do these videos, and now what I need to do is I need to work on me. I need to work on my voice, because at the end of the day, it will only help you. And building a brand, right? Building a brand online, 50% of the reason why people come to you in the salon is because of you, okay? That's the same thing with social media. That's the same thing with Instagram. That's the same thing with Facebook. People are going to want to follow you online and come to you because they feel like they know you. If you have a client, right, that is searching Instagram, how are you going to stand out in a world full of ring lights and white walls if you have the same picture everyone else does? And you guys know the picture I'm talking about. It's literally this picture on a white wall. Because it's you. You're going to start talking in your stories. You're going to start educating. You're going to start making videos to help people. They say that if you learn something from somebody 3 times, there's a trust factor in line, okay? And then you're also at the top of their mind. You always, in business in general, you always want to be number 1 or number 2, okay? That's plumbing. That's an attorney, right? You always want to be at the top of someone's head. Do you know how many people follow me on Instagram that don't even come and sit in my chair, that send me people? They're like, oh, I've been going to my hairstylist for 20 years and I feel bad leaving her, but I'm going to send my friend to you because I think you know what you're talking about. Or maybe because I'm a that does extensions, right? Maybe that person's a brunette and they love my hair hacks, my tips, my tricks, my myths, my hair science, whatever it is. And they send their people to me because they're learning something. I'm teaching them something on my page. So visually, right, I'll say Instagram is a visual platform, but make sure that you understand that there are so many different ways that people actually learn, right? I don't know all of them off the top of my head, but I know it's auditory, it's visual, it's writing. Maybe you guys could write some of the other ones in there, right? How people learn. So if you're doing all of those touch points on how people learn, you're creating a full spectrum, okay? You guys are going to start looking at my Instagram page a little bit differently now. I actually work very closely with Cynthia Baker of Saga House, SAGA.HAUS, Saga House, and she's actually helped me create this strategy. So we try to always meet every single touch point, whether it's if I'm talking to camera, I write a caption on my stories to say what I'm saying, because not everybody listens to their stories. So let's say I'm making a video online and I have I'll write a perfect out caption, or I'll write down the formula inside of the caption. That's if obviously I'm talking to a pro. But when you engage that person's way of learning online, you're also creating a trust factor with them. You're educating them, you're entertaining them, maybe you're even inspiring them. You can't go wrong. And then guess what? I have probably taught over 500 100,000 hairstylists, social media. I traveled the world for almost 4 years teaching social media, and this past year we've taken it digital. So our numbers even grew even more talking about social media with Joico on their platform, okay? What ends up happening is that every single time, I get two things. People always say two things. I'm scared, or why do I need to be on social media? I'm like, oh, you're sassy. Because every single time I'm in person, I get that person that will always say, Olivia, well, why do I need to be on social media? I already have a successful salon. Why do I even need to entertain this app? Well, first of all, a few things. Everyone is on the app, let's just say. I'm going to be conservative here and say maybe 85% of the world is on the app, okay? So if you're not on the app, right, if you're not entertaining the fact that people are showcasing their portfolios online, right, how do we get clients? At the end of the day, how do we get clients? Let's talk about offline. How do we get clients? We get clients through walk-ins sometimes, right? Referrals, maybe like, no, this is even offline. Yeah, let's just say walk-ins and referrals. Any way else we get clients from online? Maybe you guys could even help me. But let's just say one of them includes, oh, a referral. What's the first thing that comes out of their mouth? What's her Instagram page? Because they want to know what they're getting themselves into. I could tell you that Courtney's the best hairstylist all day long, and she's amazing, and you should see her technique, she takes her time, blah, 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 blah. They're like, great, but like, I want to see examples. You should always be accepting new clients, and let me tell you why. Because I've seen on people's Instagram pages, it says, not accepting new clients. That's a negative. Like that, you never want to put like a negative in your bio. It's a huge deterrent. It'll also even like inhibit people from even wanting to follow you or even be like, it's not a happy word, is not accepting new clients. So what you do want to say is, on my page, it says accepting new extension clients. So what that basically means is, I'm insinuating I'm not taking balayage clients, I'm not taking vivid clients, I'm not taking pixie haircuts, I'm not doing men's haircuts or kids haircuts. I am accepting extension clients, okay? Because, right, we want to make more at the salon. We want to work the same, but make more. So I do blonding and extensions, okay? So you as a hairstylist, when you're always intercepting new clients, you are always elevating your situation at the salon. So let's say you said, oh, I don't need new clients. Things happen, guys, right? Instagram is penny stocks. When you invest in those penny stocks, it will help you to create a longevity in your business, right? Because what ends up happening is, as we are getting more into this digital world, and you guys can even just see this in the past year, we're moving into a digital space that, like, if you're not investing, you're getting left behind. And as hairstylists, it's not an option anymore. It's basically our website. It's basically how people communicate with us via direct messages, via our stories, writing back and forth through captions, okay? So it helps you to basically say that my presence offline equals my presence online. And you're every day, if you're not posting every day, it's fine. Every time you post something, you are creating a digital footprint for your future. What does your future say about you? Right? What if you could put your future on a piece of paper through a strategy, and your number one thing says, I'm not accepting new clients, why do I need to be on Instagram? It's common knowledge, but it's not always common practice to really take a step back and say why we need to be taking on new clients. They move, things happen, they pass away, all these things happen. We can't just rely on the same 50 clients our whole entire life. And when you get new clients, you elevate your prices, okay? You elevate your experience. You open up your mind to more options, okay? So that's why That's why you need to be on Instagram. Do we have any questions, by the way? And it could be pertaining to absolutely anything. Can you, no, don't worry about it. With social media, yes, I have been on social media now for about, like I said, since 2011. So about 10 years. Over time, collectively, that is what's just helped me to develop my brand, to develop my personality, my persona online. I want people, if I could take away OMG artistry and put it on a piece of paper, it would be, of course, the entertaining, educating, inspiration aspect of my content. But what's the brand personality? I want people to feel like I'm approachable. I want people to feel like they have access to me. I want them to feel like they could ask me any questions online. When I have this mentality, so my number one mentality 4 years ago was actually to write back to every single direct message. Guys, you're not going to find a lot of unread messages in my page, and I have 177,000 followers online. I want people to feel like they are completely engaged with me. I want them to ask questions. I want them to come into the salon. I want them to buy product from me. I want them to see this gorgeous Seaside technique with these curls and this shine and ask for all the things, right? What my ideal clientele is I want somebody who likes to shop, and I want somebody who's like me, okay? I want somebody who's bubbly, who likes to interact, likes to talk, because like attracts like, right? So when I'm showcasing myself online, people be like, that's my beauty bestie. I could totally see us getting along, right? So how, I see this question from Jennifer, how do you find the time to create content and post? What I would do, can I see that calendar on the floor, Court? Please. I would buy yourself a calendar. Fantastic. I would buy yourself a calendar just like this. This is new, so we're not all there yet. This is just all the lives that we're doing. And I would start to create a content calendar with your why involved, okay? Let's say I want more extension clients, right? So what am I gonna post that month? Extension things. So why don't I make, and I will get to your question about how and why and where, well, how does that work at? When I have a why in mind, and I said, okay, we're gonna post a picture of the weft that I use on this day, just a flat lay of the weft, right? We're gonna post a picture of tape extensions in someone's hair. We're gonna post a picture of me and that client looking like we're having so much fun while I'm putting her extensions in. I'm gonna do a before and after, side by side, over here. I'm gonna make a cute little reel showcasing the hair toss of me throwing the extensions in her hair. So when you start to plan this out, you have to plan a day to shoot all this stuff, right? Instagram is multi-level marketing. At the end of the day, the more you put into it, the more you're going to get out of it. Because sometimes part-time results don't even, part-time effort don't even yield part-time results on Instagram. Sometimes it's like a quarter of your efforts. But if people go to your page and they're starting to see an extension consistency, and then in those captions, just tag a friend that would love this transformation. How many of you guys would love to try out extensions? Come in for a free color consultation or free color matching in those captions, right? You're creating what you want to see sit in your chair through strategy. I do content days because I want to take it to the next level. I want to be able to create a brand and a layout on my page. So it doesn't have to take a full day. It could take maybe an hour before you get to work. Grab one of the girls, grab one of the assistants and say, hey, can I pop some colorful extensions in your hair? Because, it's October and we want to advertise the pink hair, right? Can I just throw some pink in and can you just take some selfies of it? Or maybe I could just, an hour? at the end of the day, you have to realize, as much as that you're like, oh, but that's an hour, like that's my time. Well, it's marketing, right? You're not really wasting an hour. You're investing in your future. You're investing in your future of posting. So what I do is on Mondays, okay, whether I'm creating content or whether I am getting ready to post, I take another hour and I figure out what I'm gonna post for that week, and I make all the captions. Because then Wednesday morning, I'm just gonna draw out a scenario, right? Wednesday morning, oh my God, I didn't wash my hair this morning, or the kids are going crazy, or God, I need to take my dog out, like all this stuff. Well, if your photo is readily available and your caption's readily available, push. And maybe that 5 extra minutes you have, if you're walking your dog, or maybe if you're like, you know, at a red light, or maybe, you know, you're going to the bathroom for 5 seconds, maybe you can get back to all those comments, right? I would rather you pre-spend the time, okay? Pre-spend the time to do it, to spend hardly any time to actually post. Because I think that's where people get the exhaustion from, is the consistency of batching, okay? So think about being a creative, okay? So I'm 50% creative, 50% business. It takes a lot to be creative, right? You have to, the weather has to be good. You have to be well caffeinated. You gotta find it. Where's my pencil? You know, like the stars have to align to be creative. And if you're forcing yourself on a Wednesday at 8:30 when you have to be at the salon at 9 to be creative, you think it's gonna happen? No, it's not gonna happen. It's gonna be I can't curse, but a half butt version of what you're actually trying to do. And then you're gonna say it's not working, right? It's not working. Why isn't Instagram working for me? Because your part-time efforts are not even leading to part-time results. So you have to make that appointment with yourself. You have to make that appointment with yourself in order to contribute towards your business. You take that time to do payroll. You take that time to train your assistants. You take that time to do everything that you have to when you're implementing into your business. I don't even care if you're a commissioned hairstylist. I don't care if you're a renter. I don't care if you're an owner. If you're all of those things. This is your business. And you are a business within your business, or it is your business. So you have to work on yourself individually in order to better yourself individually. But it's all a strategy. Content doesn't just come out of nowhere. I swear, people are like, how do you have so much content? I'm like, because I make content. I mean, it sounds kind of obvious. It sounds kind of obvious that I say it. Courtney's laughing in the back. At the end of the day, whatever meets your goal, whatever meets your why about social media, about your business, about getting new clientele, about making more money, working the same and making more, or maybe working less and making more. That's the goal, right? It doesn't matter if you have a goal. It's how you strategize for that goal and how you make it work. Because people say to me all the time, how did you grow a following? Consistency. You have to be consistent. Anything that you have an attention span of 2 minutes for, you have to either A, shift your thought process to make it work better for your life, or you need to say, you know what, this just isn't for me. Because you're going to get exhausted. You're going to get exhausted at the end of the day. I have 2 more minutes. Do we have any questions?
Yes, okay. I have a question here from Teresa.
Hi, Teresa.
So with the toning that we demonstrated, cream versus liquid, which one would be better than the other to blend gray or sparkle hair?
So with the toning demonstration, the cream versus liquid, if you are covering gray hair, I would definitely go with the cream lightener. I don't have it on me. That's fine. I'll share. Yeah, give me the. I would definitely go with the cream lightener. For sure, you're gonna see that it just creates such a beautiful blending effect inside of the hair. So great question, Teresa. Okay, guys. So I hope you took so much stuff away from today because I'm so fired up right now. I'm about to run through a wall. So I really appreciate Salon Republic having me, Joico as the brand storyteller. Love you guys so much. If you guys ever have any questions, make sure that you reach out to me personally, direct message me. My Instagram is @OMGArtistry. Make sure that you're following Salon Republic and Joico on Instagram as well. They'll post it in the chat box below. So I'm out of here, guys. Thank you again. Talk to you soon. See you on the gram. Bye.